I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Hey, what is this white Christmas stuff you're talking about, dude? Bro, Malaysia, panas. Malaysia, wait.
Okay, bro. Tis the jolly season. Anyways, have you prepared our 100% halal food and beverages?
Yes, I did indeed. I have alcohol-free beer, I have alcohol-free eggnog, and I also purchased halal turkey meat that costs us 299 ringgit.
Wow, who's paying the bills?
Everything is under MOBHouse Productions.
Wow, like that.
Attention, Shane Tan.
Okay lah, today holiday.
Let's get the party started. Let's do it, man. Let's get the party started.
About that, bro. There's no party. We're actually working today.
Then why all this decoration and the stupid hat you're wearing on?
To make it less depressing. So we tricked him here today because we're gonna do a review comparison between the Zotac RTX 2070 Mini versus the Zotac 2080 Amp Extreme.
Extremely
How do you like
depressing.
that? Take it, bro. Take it.
No, I'm not gonna take that, man.
Hey guys, this is Shane and this is
Shanta, because today I'm wearing a little Santa, babe. On behalf of MOBHouse Productions, we want to wish every single one of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
So it's been a crazy 2018 for us. Without your continued support, none of this would have been possible. So we have a very special and big surprise for you. So stay tuned to the end of the video to find out more.
Anyway guys, don't forget to join the fun. Subscribe to our channel if you have not. And of course, leave your comments down below if you have any questions at all pertinent to tech stuff and not Shane time.
And not about his biceps, triceps, and all the steps he has hiding.
Do you want me to set like this?
Anyways, let's move on to the highly anticipated RTX 2070 Mini versus RTX 2080 M Extreme comparison review.
Let's do it.
Let's get cracking. So, today we're pitching this adorable Zotac Gaming RTX 2070 Mini priced at 2,399 ringgit against the behemoth Zotac Gaming RTX 2080 Amp Extreme priced at a whopping 4,099 ringgit. Check out the links for purchase as well as US prices in the description box below. In terms of aesthetics, I gotta say that Zotac has definitely stepped up their product design game. Look! The RTX 2080 M Extreme's box even has this cool animated graphics that spins the fans as you unbox it. Following the trend of GPU designs heading towards more neutral color schemes, Zotac has certainly followed suit. The RTX 2070 Mini is 211mm long, 129mm wide, 41mm thick, and takes up 2 expansion slots. It features Zotac's iStorm 2.0 consisting of 5 6mm copper heat pipes, a wide array aluminum heatsink, and 2 different types of fans. A 100mm fan with flat fan blades for maximum airflow, and a 90mm fan with curved fan blades for better static pressure. For the shroud, they switched out a lot of the silver from the 1070 Mini for gunmetal, replaced the Zotac wordmark logo for the new Zotac Gaming logo, and gave it this awesome looking backplate that folds up at the side to meet the shroud, where you'll find the illuminated Zotac Gaming logo. Unfortunately, this graphics card doesn't come with any customizable RGB lighting. Which brings us to the RTX 2080 Amp Extreme. It is 324mm long, 136mm wide, 59mm thick, and takes up 3 expansion slots. Here, we can also see Zotac's iStorm 2.0 cooling solution, but this time with 5 8mm copper heat pipes, a much beefier aluminum heatsink, and 3 90mm fans. Compared to the GTX 1080 Amp Extreme, they've completely revamped the RGB lighting by going big with 4 individual lighting zones on the shroud, 2 ginormous diffusers on the side, 1 at the front, and finally the illuminated Zotac Gaming logo. You can customize all that through Zotac's Spectra 2.0 software for an insane amount of RGB goodness. This is probably the most amount of RGB that we've seen on a GPU yet. Whether or not that's a good thing depends on your taste, so we'll leave you to be the judge of that. At the back, Zotac has replaced the grey and yellow backplate from the GTX 1080 M Extreme with a much more simpler black one with silver accents. It also wraps around and meets the shroud on the side like the 2070 Mini, and this is actually one of my favorite design decisions from Zotac, so kudos! In terms of connectivity, the RTX 2080 M Extreme uses a dual 8-pin configuration for PCIe power delivery. For the I/O, we have 3 DisplayPort 1.4, a single HDMI 2.0, and a USB Type-C, which is no doubt there for better VR support. The RTX 2070 Mini uses a single 8-pin for PCIe power delivery. For the I/O, we have 3 DisplayPort 1.4, a single HDMI 2.0, and a DVI-D port. Now let's take a look at the specs in comparison with the Pascal GTX 1080 and the GTX 1070. Firstly, you'll notice the new Turing architecture as opposed to the old Pascal architecture. Also, the process is now 12nm as opposed to the older 16nm. In terms of transistor counts, they've beefed it up quite a bit, and the 2080 has almost double the amount of transistor counts compared to the 1080, while the 2070 has about 30% increase in terms of transistor counts. In terms of die size, the 2080 has a beefy 445mm square as opposed to the 2070 with 445mm square, both of which is quite a bit bigger than the old 1080 and 1070. In terms of CUDA cores, Nvidia has also beefed up the 2080 and the 2070. Let's take a look at clock speeds, which will vary quite a bit depending on which model that you decide to get. The RTX 2070 Mini from Zotac has the same clock speeds as the reference model. The 2080 Amp Extreme, on the other hand, has a whopping almost 200 MHz overclock out of the box, so that's pretty impressive. We also have more shaders and G-flops. In terms of tensor cores, we have 288 in the 2070 and 368 in the 2080. In terms of RT cores, we have 36 in the 2070 and 64 in the 2080. Memory size and bus is still the same at 8GB and 256-bit. Memory type, on the other hand, has been upgraded from the old GDDR5X to the GDDR6. In terms of memory speed, we now have 14GB per second on both the 2070 and 2080, as opposed to 10GB per second on the 1080 and 8GB per second on the 1070. Memory bandwidth has also been increased to 448GB per second. In terms of ROPS, it's still the same as 64. Extra units has been increased a little bit, but L2 cache has been doubled from the Pascal cards. Finally, I'm sure you guys noticed the 280 watts TDP on this 2080 Amp Extreme compared to the 225 watts TDP of the reference model. This has got to be one of the most powerful 2080 out there, so I do hope that it will give you more frames and more RGB. For more information on the new RTX features, check out our previous videos. However, we're still pondering whether or not we should make a separate video where we do very intensive anal tests on these cards to find out, just how these new features benefit us. If you guys want to see something like that, leave us a comment down below. Should we do it? RTX on, RTX off? In summary, ray tracing is a tech that will make games look more realistic because of its capability to render much more complex 3D environments in reaction to lighting. What's impressive about RTX is that they can now do it in real time. DLSS, or Deep Learning Subsampling, uses AI to accelerate and enhance graphics. Finally, Nvidia Scanner is a one-button solution to GPU overclocking. Next, let's talk about our test bench. We have an i7-8700K running at 5.0 GHz on a MSI Z370 Gaming Pro carbon with 32GB of Team Nighthawk DDR4 memory running at 3200 MHz and a 512GB Samsung 960 Pro M.2 NVMe SSD. We're also using a Cooler Master Master Liquid ML240L AIO cooler and a 1250W Thermaltake Tough Power iRGB Plus PSU rated at 80 plus titanium. Moving on to the benchmarks. for the numbers, do notice that we don't have results for the 1070, and that's because, well, in all honesty, we couldn't get one into the studio on time for this video, but also we think that it's pretty irrelevant at this point. I think that the 2070 is more of a contender for the 1080, which is still in the market right now in Malaysia. With that out of the way, let's break it down, the pros and cons for these two GPUs, which will require my trusty monitor on my right. Okay, let's take a look at the RTX 2070 Mini first. In terms of the pros, it is almost half the price versus the next SKU, which is the 2080. It is also currently the entry model for RTX features. Next, it is also very solid for 1440p gaming. Now this card is approximately 10% faster than the 1080 and approximately only 20% slower than the 2080. Now let's take a look at some stuff that is specific to this Zotac RTX 2070 Mini. Firstly, it has great thermals and performance despite the small form factor. The aesthetics has also been enhanced, especially the wrap around backplate right here. Also, I feel that the neutral design is a very good decision because this thing will fit in most builds. In terms of cons, yeah, we do notice that this 2070 Mini is a little bit noisier than your full-size 2070, and that's because the smaller cooling solution would need to work a little bit harder to keep the card cool. In terms of the meh, I gotta say that it's because of the lack of RGB in this card, as well as the fact that the 1080 is still very much in the market right now. With its lowered price and similar performance, well, other than the fact that it doesn't have the RTX features, it's still quite a worthy contender. Now let's take a look at the Zotac Gaming RTX 2080 Amp Extreme. Firstly, in terms of the pros, we have the RTX features. It is also solid for 1440p gaming and decent at 4K gaming. In terms of performance, it's 10 to 15% faster than the GTX 1080 Ti. And specific to this Zotac 2080 Amp Extreme model, we have silent operation at idle, a large overclock out of the box, great overclocking headroom due to the revamped custom PCB, improved aesthetics, a neutral design which means that this will fit in most builds, and also more RGB than you'll need for the rest of your life. In fact, if you brought this card into a party, people will give you so much street cred, bro. All the RGB flying around the room. In terms of cons, this is probably not the cheapest RTX 2080 that you can get. Also, the performance increase comes with higher temps and more power draw. So it's meant for rich people. In full disclosure, Zotac did send these cards over to us for a review, but we do reserve our right to an unbiased review, so there's that. In conclusion, get the 2070 Mini if you want something really small and adorable. On a serious note, get the 2070 if you want to game at 1440p and still want to get some RTX goodness without breaking the bank. Although I do predict that this thing won't give you that much RTX because it does take a toll on the performance. If you want to game at 4K, consider stepping up to the 2080 or even the 2080 Ti. And yeah, be done with it because you're rich, right? Just buy the best thing you can. Now what about RTX series cards in general? With the older Pascal cards still around, are these Turing cards a worthy upgrade? You do pay a little bit more for a little bit more performance as well as access to new RTX features, so there's that. Although some might argue that the RTX features are still pretty much MIA as of now, but if you want the newest, greatest toys that money can buy, these are it. That's it guys, if you thought this video was awesome, please give us a like and subscribe.
And don't forget to hit the little, notification bell down below so you can stay updated to all our awesome tech videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, rap.
Wait first. Remember when I told you that there's a big surprise for you at the end of this video?
No, you just said big surprise, not for me.
Yeah, not for them. Actually, they thought it was for them, but actually it's not. Okay, anyways. So the RTX 2070 Mini is actually meant for you as a Christmas present because you asked me for a new graphics card last month.
Dude, I already bought the RTX 2080 Ti.
Hey, you told me you needed a new card like last month.
You gotta keep up, man. If I want something now, I'll go get it yesterday.
Jesus. Anyways, since Shah decided to show his ungrateful colors one more time, we'll be doing a RTX 2070 Mini giveaway. This time, no April's Fool, bro.
No, you give lah. I don't care. So you see my face, no emotion.
Wow, let's see. Anyways, please leave a comment down below in the Facebook comment section or YouTube comment section to let us know your New Year's resolution for 2019 and read the description box for more details on how to enter.
Join the fun, guys, and you can have my 2070.
Oh.
The one that was supposed to be given to me. You can take it, man. Merry Christmas. Nah, take it.
搞拖鞋 right?
Yeah, 乖人啊, this one.
乖人啊.
Wow,
Wow, mother.
You want to give me? No, the thing about him, right? He wants to give me, but he want to give me the 2070, not the 2080 or 2080 Ti. Double standard. Shane double standard Tan. I'm gonna beep.
The shit out of
Beep.